bad time to clean my glasses. Hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. All right, so you probably have heard me talk before about repurposing your content. And on tonight's show, we're going to talk about how you can embed your business's YouTube videos in various places. There's lots of different options, and many of them will pay off for you richly, and it's a great way to repurpose those videos. I apologize if you can hear that. Again, Thursday means evidently we have storms here, so let's get this started. We're going to try to get it in before we lose power, so let's do the intro. All right, so embedding your YouTube business let me try that again. Embedding your business's YouTube videos is a great way to share that content to a much wider audience, and it's not nearly as hard as you might think it is. I know you're going to look at a little code, but I promise you it's super easy. It's really just a cut and paste kind of thing. But for those of you who are new here, my name is Kathleen, and I'm here as your tech coach. Basically, my job here is helping business owners get value from technology. It's totally possible. All right, so let's dive in on all of this goodness here. So first, let's get everybody oriented. We want to talk about why you should care about this, right? What are we talking about when we're talking about embedding the videos? So whether you're doing recorded videos or live videos like this, and by the way, if you're not, I can help. You can then take that content either in whole form, or you can, chop it up and do it in little pieces and embed it in places like your website, landing pages, emails. We're going to get into that a little bit in detail. You can put them in PDFs that you share with your audience or your providers, whoever it is that needs information about your business and would benefit from those videos. You might want to share it with a partner site, right? Maybe you're working with somebody, maybe your local, business association gives you a page that, on their site that you can put content, or maybe you're involved with local sports teams, wherever it is that somebody might say to you, hey, we've got this space, do you want to give us your logo, do you want to give us some content? You could actually also give them a video and explain to them how to embed it. Really, it's that easy that I'm going to teach you, and then you're going to be able to teach other people. It's really not a big deal. You can also use it in tools like Help Scout. So let me just real quick, just to give you a picture of what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about those kind of tools, Help Scout is just one. They're not paying me. They're just a tool that I happen to be using a lot lately with some clients. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So this would be this one. Hello. Okay, so what I'm talking about are those sites that you see, where you've got the little icon down at the bottom and different shapes and all that, but the idea is that you click on it and it gives you right away, either you can search, like this one's got a search down here, or right away it gives you like the most frequently asked questions kind of stuff. And I'm going to roll the dice here and see if any of these have, so you see like it's got text, it gives you the information, and somebody could get to this in a bunch of different ways. Let's go up here. Let me just try one more, because a lot of times people will embed videos in. Yep, see, there we go. So in addition to providing those kind of frequently asked questions kind of thing, making your website more of a 24/7 resource for your audience, your customers, your clients, all those folks, you could also take those videos that you've done and, as long as it's ties into something that they're going to want to know about, and let's face it, that's why you're doing the videos, you can actually go ahead and embed them in here so that they can watch the videos right from in here, right? You don't have to send them someplace else. They could be on your website and go ahead and get the answers and the information they need, and frankly be a little bit impressed by the fact that you're that technical, even though it's really not that hard. Matter of fact, I could show you how to use Help Scout someday if you're interested in that, but I just wanted to show you that as sort of a idea firing machine. There's a better term for that. But anyway, so the point is that there's lots of different ways. And really, this is just a small list of the different ways that you can repurpose that kind of content. You're really only limited by, technology a little bit and your imagination for the rest of it. So before we go any farther, I do want to let you know that if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want more information about anything, if you have an idea for a show, please reach out to yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. You can let me know what your question is. If you need a fast answer, let me know that and let me know how to get back in touch with you, and I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Otherwise, I'll assume it's content for a show, which is where this show came from. So thank you for all of you people. They asked me not to say their names, but this came directly from a conversation I had a couple of days ago, and that's frankly where most of the best shows come from. So don't be shy. Jump on in and do it. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, so there's a couple of basic ways that you're going to share your videos. One is with a URL, okay, and a URL can either end up being an embed, okay, so an embed is something like I just showed you where it's actually in the content and they just press play and they watch it, or it could just be a link, but that's going to take them someplace else. So we're going to focus just on the embeds tonight. So you can do it as a URL, and I'm going to give you an example of that in a minute. You can do it as a share type of thing, so I'll show you where to get that information, and then you can do it as a full-on embed, which is going to give you a block of code, and again, don't freak out. Now, this is either 3 or 5 ways, depending on how you want to count it, because for the share and the embed, you can also, if you choose, bring them to a specific point in your video. So not only can you, like with the embed, you can embed it into your content, but you could also, let's say that the answer to that particular question is at 1 minute 30 seconds. You can actually, with a very easy click, make it so that they jump right to that point in the video, right? They don't have to scroll, they don't have to wait for it, they can go right to that content. And again, that is the kind of subliminal, almost, respect for their time that people will notice. They're never going to come up to you and say, wow, you saved me time by doing that. But on a deep level, they're going to acknowledge the fact that, you made their life easier in a couple of different ways and you respected their time in the process. So it's a very good all-around little thing to do. Okay, so we're going to jump into some examples of this. Let's start with, let me show you first where you're going to get these, okay, for your YouTube videos. That's probably the best place to start. So let's switch this over. Okay, we'll bring that up. We got space. So you're going to go to your YouTube page. Now, I know a lot of the things we've been talking about lately, you have to go into YouTube Studio. You don't really have to for this. It's actually probably easier not to be honest, or at least right now. So we're going to do this just from your videos page, right? So you just go to, in case you're not familiar with it, just come here and just go to your channel, okay? And it'll put you on the home, and then you're just going to go right to the videos. Okay? So we're not going to do this one because this one's live right now. So we'll go into last week's show, and you're just going to click on it. And then you're going to tell it to stop because you don't want to hear yourself right now. So there's a couple of ways to do this, as I said. We can come up to the top here. Oh, let me fire up I put new batteries in this from last week. There we go. So, oh, you can't really see that. Let's do this way. Oh, wow, I've been really good about been making use of all of the screen here, and let me just make it so you can actually see the URL, because for a change, that actually matters. Most of the time, you don't really need to see it, so I try to zoom in. But let's zoom back out here a little bit. There we go. And that way you can see the URL up the top. So for some situations, all you're going to need to do is come up here and copy this and then paste it. And I probably should have opened Notepad. Let me do that. I'm going to open Notepad so you can see what the code looks like. Okay. And by the way, Notepad is a great way to do this kind of stuff up front. Okay, evidently I did not copy it. Actually, I probably did it with the other keyboard. I do that a lot. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Now, I know you're like, oh my God, that's code. It's HTML code, but it's really just a URL, right? Now, you do want all of this because this is the stuff that gets you the specific information for this video. But you don't have to understand it. You don't have to decipher it. You don't have to explain it to anybody. You can just give them this link and go. So this is one way that you can share the information. I'm going to actually save this because then we can compare. Okay, so the next way is you can come down here and do a share. And with the share, all you need to do is just copy it. Or you can actually go, if it's something that you're going to do specific to one of these. Why did that activate? No, stop. I don't want you to hear my voice twice. Okay, so share. So this is all you need. You can just hit copy. And then that too, you just would come in and paste. Now you're going to see that this is going to look different. Sorry, let me separate those so you can see that they're different. Okay, so this is the first one, right, which has the whole watch and the V and all that kind of stuff. I think there was a space in there. I'll have to go back and check that. Wait, actually, I can check it here. Well, there's a question mark that somehow I deleted. And then this is the one that you get when you just click the share. So this is almost like a short URL or a tiny URL, that type of thing that you might have seen someplace else. So that is another way to go. And when I was talking about being able to do it in a way that you can jump people, so let's just jump to a point in this video. So let's say that I started a new topic here. I don't know if I did or I didn't. So then when you come down here and do share, if you click this start at, it's going to include that time code in this new link. So if you do copy, and we come here, and I'm just showing you all three. You're not going to need to necessarily use all three, but you see how now this is the first share we did, and this is the share with the time code. And again, you don't have to worry about what the codes mean. You just need to have them here. The third one, and the one that you're going to use most often for most of the embeds that you're going to do, is again, you come down to share, and you click on embed. Okay, and it's got all the code over here, and you just do copy. Now this is the one that the first time I show people, it just happened again the other day, you know, they get a little overwhelmed. Okay, but again, you don't have to. Let me bring myself back here for a minute. Here, we can do this, okay. Oh. Okay, no, I have to fix that. I'm sorry, but that's just wrong. We can't do that. Give me, which one do I want? Oh, I need the browser window. I can't let that go. That's going to bother me. Here we go. On the fly. That's how we do things around here. We fix them on the fly. Okay, so this seems a little intimidating to people the first time, but the good news is you don't have to understand anything that's in here, okay? From the opening bracket to the closing bracket, you don't have to care. All you have to know is that you need to grab the whole thing when you're going to paste it someplace. Never fails. Or if you're going to want to, if you're going to share it with somebody else to have them embedded on their site. So as long as you've got the whole piece, okay, and if you hit the copy, you automatically get the whole piece and just paste it in, then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about the details. Also for this one, I'll come back down here again. So we'll say again, like this was, you know, at 9 minutes and 9 seconds, I started the new topic that somebody was going to be interested in. Again, you can come in, you can say embed, and here again, you see this start at. Okay, now there's these other options down here. Just leave them as default. You don't have to worry about them. This is the only thing that you might want to do is you might want to jump them into a specific point in the video. If not, then just don't select it. But again, if you do it and you say copy, and then we come down here and we do paste, we got enough room, we do. It adds a little bit of extra code in here, specifically this, but again, you don't have to care because it's taking care of it for you. So those are the different ways that you can get those codes. Now, again, if you are going someplace specific, there are some other ones that you can use as shortcuts. So if you're going to any of these, you can do it that way. This email option here, we're going to talk about sending it like to your email list. This email would be if you were sending it to one person, just so you're aware. So it's really just going to copy and paste it into a regular email, whatever email client you use. The email I'm going to show you in a minute is if you are broadcasting it to your mailing list. But if you are using, you know, LinkedIn or Pinterest or any of these and you wanted to do this kind of thing, you can do it right from here too. Just as a little bonus tip for now. Okay, so let's jump in and I'm going to show you how to do it. Hi, Lyle. I'm going to show you how to do it on your website. Now, the actual process is going to be a little bit different depending on how you access your website, what tool it is being built with, or maybe you're just sending it to somebody who maintains it for you, which is, hey, even better, right? So I'm going to show you how to do it in Squarespace, but the reason I'm showing you all the different ways that you can get the links is because each one of the platforms does it a little bit different. So I have a watch page, right, which some of you may be aware of. So what I do is I put the last 5 videos I did on one page, and the top one is always the current one. So this is the one that's running now. So I'm going to just show you how I do this. So I just come in and I say edit. Okay, and in this particular, I like to put a separator between them. So I select my separator line, and then I come down here and I select video. Now for Squarespace, all you need is the video URL. So I'm going to go back in here, okay, and because, well, I don't even have to move that. Okay, I'm going to come down and I'm going to select share. So when you're taking, I find with Squarespace, taking the URL from this point works better than taking it from the address line. So what am I talking about? The address line is this piece up at the top. Let me see if I can just drag this down. Yeah. So I find you can, in theory, grab this, but I find it works better if you come in here and you do the share and you actually grab just the default link here. Okay, I'm not going to do the start at because I want it to start at the beginning when it's on that page. So I just do the copy, and then I come in here, and I'm going to paste this over here where it says video URL. Oops, wrong keyboard. I do that every time. And give it a second. And then you can see down on the page here that it's already loaded, right? Because we're working with last week's show. Nope, cancel, stop. You can add a custom URL here if you want. I just leave the thumbnail that, I'm sorry, you can add a custom thumbnail. Yes, I said that. Custom thumbnail if you want. Or you can just leave the one that's there, which is what I do. You can choose whether or not to display the captions underneath. I usually do, so I use captions below, and it just gives you a little preview of it. And then I say apply. And then when I come in here, you see the show, and the caption is just the text underneath here that I had as the description in my YouTube video. So it's that simple, and it's already here and ready to go. And then all somebody has to do, they're already on the page, right? And all they have to do is click play, and it'll start to play. So what are the benefits of that? Well, A, it's easy for them, right? They just go to your site, and boom, it's right there. They just click on it. The benefit for you is not only are they getting the information that they need, but they're staying on your site, right? So that's going to help your the numbers, right, for the visits for your page. So win-win. So that's real simple. Let's just see. I think we don't have any questions about that, so that's good. So that means I'm being clear, I hope. I'm going to go with the theory that it means I'm being clear. Okay, so that is the first way to do it, which is just you can take the URL and you can embed it that way. Now let's talk about email for a second, okay? Because the email thing, right? So you have a mailing list probably, you have people sign up, maybe you give them a freebie to sign up, but it's a good way to communicate with your audience, let them know about shows that are coming on, new products and services you're having on. It's just a good way to keep the conversation going in a way that's easy for them to consume, right? So sign up. But if you have done any emails in any of these systems, you know that it's a little bit behind the times, right? And so you will, when you're out there and you're searching online, you're going to find people who say that you can't do this. That may or may not be true depending on the tool that you are using. And I will say the other thing that is a little bit tricky about doing videos and emails is it's not just a matter of the tool you're using to send them out, it's also the tool that people are using to consume your emails or to view your emails. So for example, and anybody who's done email on any level of complexity has probably run into this where you've designed this beautiful email or you pay somebody to design it, it's gone out and portions of your audience are like, what did you send me? It's just all this gobbledygook, I can't read it. Microsoft Outlook is kind of notorious for this. Sorry, but that's the way it is. And there's a few others. So you just want to keep in mind that not everybody's going to have exactly the same experience. So what I recommend to people when they want to do this is by all means, go ahead and do it, right? Design and build what you put out there for the optimal experience. But keep in mind that you're going to want to also have a plan B included in that same content for people who maybe can't, for whatever reason, see or access the plan A, right? So what am I talking about? For an email, I would say go ahead, put your email content in, put your video wherever you think it's going to show up the best. And then maybe at the bottom, put a line saying, hey, we know that not all email clients are going to let you see the video, so here's a link to it. Again, it's not the optimal experience that you want them to have, but it's not so bad because you've given them another way to get it, so they're not going to be frustrated by it. So just something to keep in mind. So evidently all right, let me just log in again. My login went to sleep. So let me just get back into MailChimp. And so I'm going to show you again, because this is the one I'm using. I'm going to show you how to do this, and then you can go ahead and adjust it as you want. Yeah, we'll just do one from scratch. Okay, I think we're good here. All right, so here, I'm going to say email. I'm going to say, Oops, wrong keyboard. Test 3. I'm wondering where I'm typing on my other system here. Somewhere around here I am typing. I am sure of that. Sorry, I got a notification here. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we'll do like test, I think 4 it will be, because I tested this to make sure, because, you know, things go wrong when you go live. All right. So I'm not going to worry about all this other stuff. We're going to just jump right down to designing the email. Now, again, there's lots of different ways to do this, as you will see here, right? You can select predefined layouts. You know, maybe you have a theme that you're using. Maybe you have saved templates. What I usually do, just for expedience sake, is I take a previous campaign, like a previous one I sent out, and I select it. So here, we're going to select this one again because we'll stay on the theme of last week's show. All right, so if I had decided that I wanted to embed a video in this, what I would have done was come in here. Okay, so like I include the links for my show, but let's say, you know, I was going to amp it up, or I'm going to do, you know, a follow-up email for people who missed the first show, which is probably not a bad idea, and I should probably be doing that. Sometimes ideas come up while you're talking. So then I'm going to come in here again, and I'm going to, whoops, wrong window. There we go. I'm going to go back to my YouTube video, but this time I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to select the embed option. So it's this one right here. And again, I'm going to have it start at the beginning, right, because I want them to get the whole show. So I'm not going to do the start as, I'm just going to say copy. Okay, so now this is the part. This is the part that freaks some people out, but I promise you can do this. I absolutely promise you, everybody can do this. Okay, so you decide, all right, so I've got my text here, right? I've got my text down here, and I've decided I want to put the video here. What you need to do in order for this to work is you need to go into the HTML mode. It's okay. Now, I'm just going to show you. So the reason for that is if you don't do that, okay, if you just come in here and do this, this is what's going to go out. It's going to go out with the code, okay? And that's not the experience you want your people to have, because their brains will get a little melty about that. So in MailChimp, it's this little angle bracket icon, okay? And it comes in here. All you want to do is either look for BRs like this, which just means line break, okay? Or it could be angle bracket P close, with then a close at the other end for paragraph. All you want to do is go outside of one of the close brackets and do the paste. Now, and then you see it shows up right here for you. Now, I will say in MailChimp, I find if I switch back to the other content view, this sometimes breaks. So what I recommend is go ahead, do your email, get it exactly how you want, and make embedding the video the last step, because then you can just save it in this and hit continue and go through the process again. All right, and I'm going to show you, because it would take too long to send it. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by it doesn't give the same experience. So if you remember, can we go back into this? I think we can. So remember, I put it in. Yeah, see, well, for some reason when I go back in this tool, oh, because it's not in the edit view again, then it disappears. It did go through, and I will prove that in a minute. So let me put this in here again. So you see how this one, see how it embedded it, right? And it's got the little play icon here, right? So the expectation is you're going to have your heading if you use one, you're going to have your text, you're going to have the below text, and the video is going to show up right here. However, as I mentioned, it's not going to be 100% the same experience across the board. So I use Gmail out of convenience as the collection point for all of my email. So here you see, I put this heading on here. Right, so I have this main heading, the big test. I put in these links here. The video for the embed. So this is where I put the embed text, the embed code in the tool. This is where it shows up in Gmail. Now, it's not the end of the world, because Gmail users get used to seeing the videos down there. And it works the same way. You come down here, you click on it, and it starts to play, and you're good to go. So don't let that stop you from sending this out this way, because whatever client they're using, it's going to work. But my point is, it's going to show up a little different for everybody depending on where it is. The important thing is they got your video. So that's the thing to focus on. Don't stress too much over the rest of the stuff, and just focus on the fact that you were able to get the video to them. Make sense? Okay, so just to wrap up, I'm going to remind you that there's a couple of different ways to do it. Some tools are going to allow you to do it just by taking the URL text, right, and popping that in, and that will send out the video. For others, you're going to have to go in and do the share and get that like tiny URL version of the link. And in most other cases, specifically if you're going to do it on a website, a landing page, that type of thing, you're going to want to go with the third option where you were selecting that embed option that you see when you click on the share. And like I said, if you want, you can bring them right to a specific point by getting the video to that point and then selecting that option when you go to get your link. Select it before you create your link. And that's it. It's really not that big a deal. There's a tiny bit of looking at code, but you don't have to change anything. It's really just a copy-paste situation, and that way you can repurpose all of that lovely content that you have out there, whether it was pre-recorded or live. Remember, you can do this too, like if you're doing Facebook stories, Instagram stories, like all of the different ways that you're creating video, you can make that all work for you even harder by putting it all in all these different places. And you're going to expand your audience because, as we all know, no single platform has all the eyeballs, right? So some people love, Facebook stories. Some people never look at them. Some people don't know they exist. Same thing with Instagram and, all of the other places that you're doing this kind of stuff. So if you want to get more value out of it when you're creating it, then, pull it down so you have a copy of it, and then you can go ahead and reuse it wherever it is that you would like to make it available to the rest of your audience. All right? Okay, and just as a reminder, since we're talking emails, I do have an email list. If you'd like to stay on top of things, please go ahead and sign up. It's yourtechcoach.net/mailing list, no spaces. I don't sell, your name or your email to any, third parties. It is strictly so that I can communicate with you, so you don't have to be worried about that. Nobody needs the bad email karma, right? All right, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you're having a good week, and we will talk again soon. Bye.